And welcome in to another episode of Off Script. And before I even get into the video, if you're new here and you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot, helps the channel out a lot with overall growth. And, it's a fun time around here. Why not? Why not do it? But getting into the video here, obviously you guys saw the thumbnail. Don't have a Texas Tech helmet here, but for those that don't know or not Texas Tech fans, Texas Tech has a tradition that opening kickoff or any kickoff throughout the game, they throw tortillas up. And right now, the Big 12 is kind of cracking down on this right now and trying to just overall cancel the tradition. But let's get into the overall lore. Obviously, Texas Tech fans know the lore, but for those that aren't Tech fans or just kind of casuals to college football, the lore behind the tortilla throw, the one I saw mostly when I was doing some research, ESPN announcer just joked in 1992 that all that there was in Lubbock, Texas was football and tortilla factories. And those fans kind of took it to heart and were like, you know what? We kind of like this. So they brought tortillas, and the rest is history, and they started throwing tortillas at games. Been doing it for decades now, by the way, since 1992, like I said. And the second one, it evolved from fans throwing soda lids initially from the concession stands. The concession stands shut them off, says no more. So they pivoted to tortillas and started throwing those. So pretty cool tradition overall. It's even in the college football video game, so that's really cool to see that in there. But, man, the fact that this is now like an issue, an ongoing issue, the fact they've been doing it for decades, but I understand there has been some stuff in the past with that Texas game, with a pass interference being overturned because beer cans were thrown on the field, and that Tennessee game where mustard bottles and golf balls were thrown at Lane Kiffin, which was ridiculous. But I just don't see how it's as big of an issue because it's a tortilla, it's softer, Maybe you could slip on it like a banana peel, maybe, but besides the point. The point is this. Going into the 2025 season, all but one team voted against throwing items on the field. That one team being Texas Tech, obviously, because their tradition of throwing. And AD Kirby Hocutt basically said, the rules may change, but our tradition will not. And that was going into this season. They were thinking, you know what, we'll be fine. Overall, I don't think they're going to enforce it too much. And now we fast forward to present day. The Big 12 overall has cracked down pretty hard on this tradition. They're giving out punishments. The first one being just a warning, a little slap on the wrist. That's all it is. The first one. And then the second one, and for fans that don't know, I'd listen up here. Second warning here is a 15-yard penalty against your team. So you have the ability to actually affect your team in a negative way, and an $100,000 fine towards your university, which affects NIL, funding, donors, all that stuff. You just don't want to be caught in that position. So with that being said, the university, Texas Tech, came out and said they no longer encourage or permit the throwing of tortillas. Fan ejections are going to happen if you do it. Ticket purchasing is going to be revoked for the remainder of the year. It's gotten to a point where it's kind of crazy overall. I mean, just all over tortilla throwing. And I understand it is a big tradition, and it's kind of a staple who you guys are, but you don't want to be that guy that throws a thing on for the second time and then affects your team from winning the game. 15 yards, I mean, that's a PI, basically. You don't want that for your team. That's an unsportsmanlike, basically. But here are my thoughts going in on this. And I feel like this really isn't being said too much, but what's to stop an opposing team fan? So say, like, next week BYU comes in there. And I'm not saying a BYU fan would do this because they're genuinely really good people, very nice, humble, but let's just say a lunatic BYU fan goes in and obviously you guys throw the first one, a little warning. Second one, BYU fan just from the rafters, just and just throws on there. And then obviously I think they're going to get some cameras and be like, okay, well, that was a BYU fan that did it. But what if they mistakenly just go like, oh, Texas Tech fan because he threw a tortilla, and you're a scapegoat or something. And then it's negatively impacting you guys, and you guys didn't even do it. That's I don't know. That's something to look out for just overall. And I think the university might just maybe more cameras or something. I don't know. Just not great right there. And the second thing, I feel like there could be a new form of the overall tradition. I mean, obviously when you keep this tradition, it's very sacred, and I know your fandom is very passionate about it. So maybe there's a way you guys can continue to do this without affecting the actual game. But like I said earlier, I don't think tortillas really affect, like maybe it could be like a banana peel almost, but like, does it really go that far onto the playing field? That's my thing. Like, if you put a hole in it and really frisbee it out there, and depending on where you're sitting, obviously, but I don't feel like he could get that close. Granted, I've never been to a game, so I haven't seen it. Hopefully go next week. So shout out Texas Tech fans. I might be there next week. But I just don't feel like it would affect the game that much. But I understand the hazards that could potentially play into this. But back to my main point. Could there potentially be a way that we could, or y'all, I should say, could continue this in a different way that keeps this tradition alive? But Texas Tech fans, I want your thoughts here, because obviously this is a big tradition, and I've heard about it for years, and I've always wanted to see it in person. But I want your thoughts. How are you? Obviously, probably mad about this, maybe a little frustrated. But where are you guys? Where are your heads at going forward here? Are there maybe message board thoughts that you guys have that you guys want to maybe get together and conjure up a new tradition or something like that? But I want your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this. I feel like it's a little absurd, but that's just me. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. God bless. I'll see you soon.